We're going to get into this next game. Tifa actually did connect this time around. So I'm going to switch over, going to turn off the overlay here, and we're going to get into the game. Yes! Yes, this is the GES2 Dota 2 tournament main event, group stages. I am Maut. We are casting SpaceMonkeys versus iDeal Gaming. And this is the third of 6 games that I'll be doing tonight here on Neo Dota. So thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Once again, shout out to Spit and Kiln for being here with me, making sure everything's set up as far as administrative things go. We had a really good second game between Flash Esports and Duskbin. Duskbin eventually took it, although we had a little bit of technical difficulties at the end of the game. It was still a very good game. And now we're going to get into the ban pick phase here. The first ban phase, Darkseer will be banned out on the side of SpaceMonkeys. iDeal will grab the Naga Siren with their first ban, and they'll get their second ban here in moments. Once again, guys, if you like these games, if you're enjoying them, please check out the Neo Dota YouTube channel. They'll have the VODs up there of everything, including the CDL, the Collegiate Dota 2 League, which I casted earlier today. You'll be able to check those out. Those were some really well-played games. If you enjoyed my casting, I'd appreciate it if you follow me at twitch.tv/MautDota2, and you'll see that I have my Twitter account right up here. That's where you can follow me as well. And there will be a lot of stuff that I'm casting in the upcoming few days. Of course, tomorrow I've got a lot of stuff as well. But enough about me. Let's talk about the game. Rubik will be the ban out from the side of iDeal. I almost called them GBT, which I believe is their sponsor, and that's something that I really hate doing. So iDeal coming in with that Rubik ban, and of course with the Chaos Knight ban. This leaves a lot of possibilities. Firan will be the first pick for iDeal, but you've got Jakiro, you've got Undying available as well. Batrider, as well as the Templar Assassin. You've got a lot of open room to maneuver here in this pick ban phase, which is really exciting because, you know, banning out Naga Siren and Rubik, yes, that's that's kind of standard nowadays, but still, I think there are better bans out there. They just don't want to deal with that Song of the Siren. It can be really a hassle to deal with, and Darkseer, of course, is always first ban material. There's going to come a time when Valve's going to nerf Darkseer just a little bit more, and he won't be played nearly as much, but that day is not today, and I think people love playing or playing against Darkseer regardless of how good and strong he is. There are ways that you can beat him, but obviously they don't want to have to find those ways and deal with it. Venomancer plus Templar Assassin will be picked up, so good pickups there. Of course, Venomancer is a nice counter to Templar Assassin. Getting that out of the pool is good. Of course, Leshrac is also a good counter. Will iDeal pick up the Batrider is the question. It's a very strong counter to the Templar Assassin. It's something we should all know by now if we've watched enough Dota games. I mean, if you're up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., if it's America for you, you honestly understand how the Dota 2 metagame has been working in the recent days.
5 seconds remaining.
At least I hope so. If you're rather new to Dota, then welcome to Dota.
Reserve time.
This is some really top-end Southeast Asian teams, I should say, playing in a large tournament for a lot of money. You have to understand, though, also, whoever wins this main event will actually have a chance to play LGD or IG for another prize, a pool of about, I don't know, it's like $2,000 or something. It says on the Dota Talk website. Anyways, Sand King followed by the Leshrac will be the pickup from iDeal. So Sand King is a good, just really great for team fighting. Of course, Epicenter, one of his most well-known abilities. Burrow Strike also is a really great stun. A good setup stun when aim lane with Leshrac, which is who they pick up. And of course, the Edict damage is nice to really take that Templar Assassin refraction down. Jakiro will be the last pickup in this pick ban phase. And then we're going to get into the bans here on the side of iDeal right now. It's starting to get to that point where my body's wearing down. My body's like, hey man, you can't keep doing this. You're in a rough position right now, but I'm going to tell my body to screw it, and I'm going to keep casting because I love casting. I mean, who doesn't love, like, casting professional Dota and watching professional Dota? It's just like, it's the highlight of my weekend. And you guys could be saying, well, why aren't you going out, you know, and dating? Well, I'll tell you why. Dota is amazing. That's why. That and no one else is doing anything this weekend anyway, so it doesn't matter. Faceless Void will be the ban out from iDeal. Brewmaster on the side of SpaceMonkeys, and followed by Slardar on the side of iDeal again. So I think iDeal knows a little bit about SpaceMonkeys. If I do remember correctly, SpaceMonkeys ran something rather ridiculous the first time I saw them, and I would not be surprised if it was a Slardar.
Radiant team ban.
I mean, you never know, Jailbot. You never know, okay? There's always people like that. You honestly never know. Dragon Knight will be the ban on the side of iDeal, and then of course Bat Rider on the side of SpaceMonkeys, not wanting to deal with that hero in the mid lane. The way it looks like right now, Templar Assassin in the mid lane, Venomancer Jakiro probably in a tri lane with a carry at this point. Furion will be in the off lane. It looks like on the side of iDeal. Sand King will be with Leshrac in some sort of lane. They need a mid hero and a carry at this point. Two heroes that you don't really like to save for the last pick, but of course you want to get these strong heroes early on. I think they could have waited to get Sand King. I don't know if they really needed to get it this early on. They could have gotten some other heroes here. But that's neither here nor there. Invoker will be the last ban out on the side of SpaceMonkeys, realizing that they don't have a mid hero yet on iDeal, so they'll take away that Invoker, which we've seen in the past 2 games. I believe it was in the first game as well as the second. I know it was in the second game. I just watched the second game. I was just there. So the next pick ban phase is going to come out, and I gotta say, or pick phase I should say, this has been a pretty quick, captain's mode. I gotta say this has been flying by, honestly. But, yeah, good stuff.
10 seconds.
Pick phases
remaining.
are always good if they're quick. A lot of the times I get
5
really concerned
seconds
about
remaining.
long pick ban phases because then I run out of things to talk about, and then I just end up talking about myself. Which is not what you want as a caster. You want to always focus on the game and focusing on yourself. No one really cares about me, and I understand that. That's fine.
Tinker!
So I'll keep talking about the game. And Tinker is the pick up here, and he'll be probably sent mid for iDeal. And this is something that's going to be very annoying for SpaceMonkeys to deal with because, honestly, playing against Tinker, you can understand that he's probably one of the most frustrating heroes to deal with, specifically because when he gets those boots of travel and he goes into a lane, he just marches machines all the time with his rearm. It's just so annoying to deal with, and his harassment's even annoying. Those heat-seeking missiles, you're like, yeah, I'm fine. He's totally not in range of that, and all of a sudden you're dead. And it's just like, great. That's not what I wanted to happen.
10 seconds remaining.
And the reserve time, as you can see, has been
5
barely
seconds
touched here on the
remaining.
side of SpaceMonkeys or on the side of iDeal. They're getting through this really quickly. It seems like they had a game plan and they're kind of sticking
Reserve
to it,
time.
which is absolutely fine. We'll just see how each game plan really, stacks up with one another. If you're thinking about it right now, Ice Path is a really good stop to Sand King because he'll have to try to Burrow Strike in and then maybe even Burrow Strike on top of an Ice Path at that point. It's also a really good stop to an Epicenter because it's got such a long range. It could be really nice counter to this Sand King here, and we'll see if that really plays out the way that I think it will. Bounty Hunter's going to be the next pickup, and then finally Lone Druid on the side of iDeal. So the way it's looking right now, Nature's Prophet in the off lane, and we'll have Tinker in the mid lane with Sand King and Leshrac and Lone Druid. Oh, well, Lone Druid is usually used in the off lane. I rarely see him in a tri lane, and I'm not sure if that's going to happen here. So Lone Druid sort of throws a wrench into my plans right now, but we'll see. I imagine Bounty Hunter will be in the off lane. Venomancer plus the Jakiro will be up in the side of a tri lane here with a carry that they're about to pick. I'm sure of it. Templar Assassin going to go into that mid
10
lane.
seconds remaining.
Once again, this is not fact for a sec just yet, but
5 seconds
that's a
remaining.
good point, Mr. Dopickle. You can always send Lone Druid into the mid lane with an Orb of Venom to harass the Templar
Reserve
Assassin, but I'm
time.
not sure that's what they'll do. Yeah, they could definitely do that, send Tinker into an off lane perhaps, and then Night Stalker will be the last pick up here, so what is looking to be a tri-lane with Night Stalker, Jakiro, and Venomancer. However, they could also do the same thing with a Templar Assassin in a tri-lane and send Night Stalker mid. Those things are for sure. Those things could happen. Bounty Hunter, of course, I think will definitely be in the off lane. I'd be surprised to see him not there. They could always run dual lanes, though. Those are always options, or dual lane mid even could be an option for any one of these teams. I mean, I've seen some ridiculous stuff today, so I wouldn't put it past them. I should probably turn on free cam. That would be good. I'm going to check out this last hit tonight chart. Early on. So on the side of SpaceMonkeys, we're going to have DDX on the Jakiro, Clantano Besquero on the Night Stalker, Bao Bao on the Venomancer, Dan will be on the Templar Assassin. And then we'll have an MYK on the side of the Bounty Hunter. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. So that's going to be SpaceMonkeys for you. DDDX on the Jakiro, if I didn't say that already. Tifa, TLFA, or TIFA, I'm not sure which one. It's probably Tifa. On the Furion, we'll be heading up into the top lane right now for iDeal. We'll see Upper on the side of the Lone Druid. Tinker, looking to head mid, is going to be BZ. Sand King will be played by Min. And finally, iDeal, last player, will be a Leshrac played by NN. So good stuff there. What it's looking like now is actually a bunch of dual lanes. I'm not really 100% sure what's happening. I think Lone Druid might be in the jungle. He's sitting around in the jungle just for a second. He's actually clearing these trees here. I think he wants to be able to pull at least this creep wave, and he should be able to do that just fine. His bear is actually using a Quelling Blade of his own. He invested 2 Quelling Blades. That's how serious he is about clearing this creep wave pull path. That's some serious stuff right there. So Min and N are actually going to be down here in this bottom lane. I think that Upper will rotate as soon as he's got the pull done and head down here. It'll be MYK on the Bounty Hunter, Solo down here in the bottom lane. We're going to see the Night Stalker in the mid lane like predicted. Tinker will be in the mid lane as well. We're going to see a hasted NN actually rotating somewhere. He's got wards, that's where he's rotating to. Bao Bao will be also, he's got some sentry wards of his own. I think he just placed his own wards across on the upper cliff there, as you just saw. And we will see DDDX on Jakiro up here in the top lane. So it'll be Venomancer, Jakiro with Templar Assassin tri-lane. So it's something that I wasn't expecting too much. And we'll actually see Night Stalker in the mid lane. And finally, of course, MYK down here in the bottom lane. And it's looking like a solo lane for the Furion, plus some upper will be down here in this tri-lane. So I was close, I think, for the most part. I don't think I got 100% right, but I was close. I was definitely close. Void coming in on the BZ right now. He's doing a little bit of damage, and he's going to love tap him right back with a laser shot. So a little bit of damage going each way. Sand King already getting 3 last hits down here in this bottom lane. It looks like it's actually going to be iDeal and going to be in a jungle instead of heading down into this tri-lane. So he'll be able to get solo experience plus solo farm is really what he needs. And then, of course, Sand King will be able to get that Blink Dagger relatively quickly with this farm here. MYK is just sitting in the jungle, and I think he's just trying to get experience. I don't know if he's getting the range on the experience. I don't know if he's picking any of it up. It might be close. We'll see if he gets that. I think he just got that one. So he is in range of the experience here. There's already a sentry ward here on the Radiant side, making sure they spot him out. Of course, if he does get spotted out, that's going to be a Burrow Strike in his players and probably a dead person, at least at level 2 with the Edict damage. So we'll keep that in mind. Should have got water before in this game. But you live and you learn. Tifa now, trying to get some last hits here with his trance. They're only level 1 trance, of course. It's, you know, only a few minutes into the game. So what will Tinker go? It looks like he's going for the March of the Machines laser build. He's going to max that out, and that's going to be very annoying, but it also helped him last hit. Void getting the last hit with the Night Stalker, so he's using that Void, even though it uses mana on to get last hits. Interesting play there. Upper, of course, pulling, and he's continuously pulling so that Tinker can easily get these last hits under the tower. He's doing a good job of it. And Upper's doing a good job getting these last hits. He's level 2 just now, and he's only got a few last hits. I think he's got 6. But that's not too bad considering he's down here in the jungle and he's been pulling. So good start for him. Meanwhile, NN is actually going to pull for himself. And what is this ogre doing?
Illusion.
Oh, he was pulling it from this camp. Okay, that makes more sense. MYK now still only level 1, not level 2 just yet. Min is actually level 3 right now with a decent chunk of farm. You look at it, he's got a decent amount of last hits. He's actually leading with 14, so they really want this Sand King to get farm. That's going to be pretty important. So pretty boring game early on. It's only 250 though. Not like the first blood we saw in the last game happening at 0-0-0-0. It's 0 minutes, 0 seconds, if you weren't understanding that. First blood, I missed it. It is going to be the Bounty Hunter going down. It looks like it was a Burrow Strike directly into a Split Earth, followed by Edict damage, and he does go down, and I miss it completely. Good stuff there. My bad, guys. I apologize. BZ with an Illusion Rune. Bounty Hunter is going to pause just briefly. He'll disconnect. He should reconnect shortly. It looks like he's having a tough time. And checking everything out here. Jakiro with a pretty standard build, going for a lot of regen, making sure that if Dan takes any bit of damage, he can regen him up pretty quickly. And 2 Refraction, 1 Side Blade, pretty standard stuff for Dan, nothing crazy there. Tifa going for Teleportation plus 2 Treants, not also real crazy. On the side of the Tinker, we already discussed this, he's actually going for 1-1-2, so getting 1 point into the Heat-Seeking and Laser just to do a little bit more damage early on, and then March of the Machines he'll max out, I'm sure. Upper. Yeah, we don't really need to talk about that. Only 372 gold on him. And this is going to be the real key. It looks like he's going to be the carry here, but it's going to take him a while for him to ramp up that farm because right now he's just pulling the small camps in the jungle, not doing too well as far as farm is concerned. He's only got 7 last hits, so that's something you have to keep in mind. Meanwhile, Min is doing very well. He's level 4 right now. He's got 15 last hits. He's actually leading the levels behind. He's actually right with BZ, who's in the mid lane. So he's doing a very good job. I mean, really honestly, Leshrac hasn't been in the lane at all. And that kill really helped Leshrac. He's level 3 right now. He's getting a lot of experience from the creep camp. So keep that in mind. Once again, this is GEST Dota 2 main group stage. Casted by me, Maut. There are other casts going on if you'd like to check those out. Otherwise, stick with us here on Neo Dota. And I apologize for pauses in advance, but things tend to happen. internet issues. You can't really control them. And he does reconnect, so we'll get back going here in just a second. This unpause will come very soon. I have this courier. It's a very good courier. Bottle's flying all the way, or running, I should say, to BZ right now. iDeal says good. They'll unpause it, and we'll get going here in just a second. So First Blood did go the way of the Sand King, getting that kill. Actually, I think it was the Electric with his Edict damage, but that matters not. And remember, this is game 3 of 6 that I'm casting this morning, or this evening, depending on where you're living.
Denied.
Or this afternoon, even. DDX, maybe looking for an Ice Path on Tifa right now. Oh my goodness gracious. Are you serious? MYK is having some trouble right now. Hold on just 1 second, guys. Alright, sorry about that. I apologize once again for lag issues. Once again, this is Southeast Asia that these teams are playing from, and they're playing from cross-country for the most part, so the ping's not always there. We don't know really how their internet is down there. We can assume that it's not good for MYK. He's been disconnecting pretty consistently right now, so I apologize for that happening. He does reconnect, though, and we should be good. We might have a bunch of pauses during this game, so I apologize in advance for any sort of delays that we're getting. And we'll get going here. So the bottle is available now on Tinker, and Montona is going to take a bit of damage from that laser shot. Night Stalker actually has a bottle of his own now. Marksman machines will fly off, plus the heat-seeking missile. So now last hits, he's gonna do this. He's actually going to go for the rune, check the rune real quick, and he's gonna get the last hits via the Marksman machine. So that's a pretty nice play there. I don't know if he got any, but Bao Bao and DDX are actually gonna try to go for a gank here. There is the Ice Path. It does latch. Will the Venomous Gale be enough? Plus the right-click damage. It should be. BZ is very slowed right now. He's having a tough time. Nice Serpent Ward up on the high ground. I think they will be able to get the kill here. Bao Bao will get it. The salve, barely saving his life just for a second, but he does go down. Venomancer getting the kill with his poison dots. So good stuff there. MYK has actually got double damage, and it might go for a kill here on the Min right now. I don't know if he'll be able to get it, but we'll see. He's got 1 point in Janata, 1 point in Shadow. He's only level 2. He's very far behind Min, who I think is almost level... He's actually almost level 6, surprisingly. He's been getting solo farm. 1,500 gold. He could just buy, honestly, if he wanted to, a Blink Dagger straight up pretty soon. And that's scary. I mean... He's going to probably buy boots. Yeah, he's going to buy Arcane Boots straight up right now, but he could have just bought a Blink Dagger right there if he really wanted to. But he realizes he's not having trouble farming, so he'll just wait until he gets a little bit more farm and then buy that Blink Dagger. The good thing is, with those Arcane Boots, he can just spam that Burrow Strike and get, like, damage onto an MYK. You see him do it right there, and this is going to happen consistently. He can even go for a Burrow Strike into an Epicenter if he really wants to. If you get, like... But you don't even need to, because with that Burrow Strike followed up by the Split Earth, it's going to be pretty much a guaranteed kill. And we'll keep checking them, though. Checking the last hits chart, though, the good thing is for the Dire side, they have Dan up here in the top lane. He's essentially getting free farm. It looks like Tifa has actually rotated out. He will TP to the mid lane. They're going to go for a gank here on the the Night Stalker. He's taking a bit of damage. Not really anything, actually. His really didn't take much damage at all. The Ice Path will barely just miss. He used a Void, and they didn't do any damage to him. There's really no damage coming in from the Tinker or anything like that. So that's the problem with going that March build. It's nice for later on in the game just to free boots and push and stuff like that, but early on, that ganking potential is not really there. Meanwhile, down here, MYK has some help with Bao Bao right now, and up in the top lane, it's actually going to be Dan getting some solo farm at this point in time, just to get him some more levels here. He's almost level 6 right now. Furion's a little far behind him as well. 8 there. Burrow Strike coming into MYK. There's going to be Split Earth, and it will land. Is Edict going to follow up? The answer is no. He's just going to back off right now. Shuriken will do some damage. Bao Bao is actually going to back up as well. Regen Rune popped up on DDDX. Triple DX. Tifa barely surviving from Dan. A good sprout there. He's going to try to TP away. He should be able to get away now just fine, but Dan was able to dive there, and that's the scary part. Tifa needs to get some help here to really stop Dan's farm. Level 6, he's got 35 last hits. I'm sure he's probably got the highest net worth right now. Doesn't have a bottle, doesn't really need to get. He's not trying to go for that rune control in the middle lane. He's just trying to get last hits and get farm here. So that's even better for Templar Assassin, not having to waste money on the bottle. You can just go straight for perhaps like a Blink Dagger quickly or something else. Generally, you would like to see that bottle, though, just to get that regen going, so he might actually end up going for it eventually, but we'll see. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, this is getting pushed pretty significantly. Fortification is up. NN does not have Edict for another 10 seconds. It doesn't matter. This is going to go down regardless. They have the barrier here pushing. He's going to buy his Blades of Attack up, and he'll probably buy Phase Boots in just a second. He's only level 3 right now, so he's actually pretty far behind as well. He's actually the lowest hero level in the game. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Silence is on BZ right now. He's in some trouble. He's going to turn around, try to right-click, and try to get a laser, and maybe go for a kill on the Night Stalker, but he'll be just fine. Venomancer actually getting the kill on BC, so BZ's having a very tough time. His Boots of Travel will be very delayed, I imagine, and they might not come for quite some time here. I'd say maybe even 20 minutes could be what you're looking at if he keeps getting ganked like this. That's a bold prediction. Let's see if he goes with the Cotton. Side traps up in the top lane. Dan pushing just a little bit. He's been solo pushing this tower pretty much on his own. He's done a good job, but there's no fortification. And Tifa's had a real tough time. This tower should be going down here in a momentarily. And this is the problem with the Suicide Laner. Nice avoidance of the Ice Path. I don't know if that'll save his life, though. He's going to TP out. He will get out. So good plays there from Tifa. And this is the problem with the solo Suicide Laner. Yes, you're going to be in a solo lane. You're expecting to get some semblance of farm, but you're also expecting to not die and just to try to defend the tower as much as possible. I mean, it goes down in 8 minutes, and that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world because, you know, the real problem is giving the Templar Assassin free farm and letting her get that tower kill. Because now she's even closer to a Blink Dagger. She's about 1,000 away. That's the real difficult part now with that exchange. Tifa's just going to rotate in now, realizing that he can't do even anything over in the top lane. He'll probably go to the jungle, get some more farms. He's got a Ring of Basilius, but, I mean, he's got nothing else, really. And he's actually tanking a stack of creep camp there, so keep an eye out on that. MYK heading back, actually getting a bottle, which was crowed. I don't know if he had it earlier. I don't remember. Meanwhile, in the top lane, DDDX plus Dan are still here. They're rotating down to the middle lane, looking for a gank on BZ, and if he goes down again, that's going to be really frustrating. He's got 680 gold plus his boots. He's got a bottle, which is nice, but if he dies again, that's going to set his BOTs back even further, and he will get sidetracked up. There's the Silence, followed by the Ice Path. That's just too much damage. He's gone. Rotation's coming in from Min. Will he try to go for an epicenter is the question. It doesn't look like he does pop it off, and it actually will get it off, getting 1 kill out of it. Now Tifa's actually in a bad position. Side trap will pop off, plus a lot of damage. Meld damage keep going as well. Templar Assassin having their way with this entire team. And Bounty Hunter's here as well. So BZ now also in a precarious position. Meld does actually miss. Trap will fly off. Some right-click damage should be enough to get the kill here. And it's going to be 4-for-1. And BZ actually died earlier on in that fight. He might have bought back. I think he just did, honestly. Let me check the buyback status here real quick. Yeah, he just bought back as well. So that's unfortunate. 2-for-7. SpaceMonkeys taking this right now pretty handedly. You look at the XP graph, 2,000. Gold is going 2,000 at 10 minutes in the game. That's a pretty large deficit early on if you're on the side of iDeal. So we'll have to keep that in mind. The epicenter was good, but there just wasn't enough follow-up there and enough damage control as well. There was somebody missing for that entire fight. I think it was the Lone Druid. He's been sitting in the jungle farming the entire time. This is the problem with the jungling Lone Druid, or Lone Druid in general. You really cannot really do anything with him until even at least level 6 and some more farm later thereafter. Night Stalker looking for upper right now. He's actually just going to pass right by his camp and miss him, but he'll pick up a double damage turn in the process. Heading mid. Min and NN they have to be careful here. I mean, you've got 3 heroes here. We actually are going to see an engagement from the Night Stalker. He's got a double damage rune. Look how much damage he's doing. There's not much that upper can do to get away from this. He's trying to juke. He's doing a good job of it so far. There's going to be the Bro Strike stun. And now Night Stalker's actually in a bit of trouble. He's going to keep getting stunned right now. Ice Path will fly out. We'll save his blade momentarily, but he will go down eventually. Sandking getting the kill. Of course, Jakiro getting the kill on Tinker. Leshrac going to go down as well. Double kill for the Jakiro right now. Bounty Hunter is actually going to kill upper as well. So Ice Path will fly out, will miss, and it's 3-for-1 trade at this point in time. So iDeal is getting sort of manhandled right now at 11 minutes in the game. It's 10-3 right now. TP coming in from Inch Profit, but that won't really do anything. He's going to try to sprout DDX. He's in tower range. He's taking tower damage right now. DDX looks like he will go down. One more right click, in fact. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter will actually get a kill on the Sand King, so it's a 4-for-2 trade right now at this point in the time. 11-4 is the score of the game. Meanwhile, where was Templar Assassin in that entirety of that team fight? She had just rotated down, I think. Very close to the Blink Dagger. She actually got Drums of Endurance in the meantime. Those of you just joining us, this is SpaceMonkeys versus iDeal for the GEST Dota 2 main event group stages. I'm Maut. Thanks for joining us once again. So I forgot about this chart. You're looking at the net worth right now, and yeah, Templar Assassin's 2K eclipsing pretty much everybody else, and the next closest person, 2 people even, are on her own team. So they're looking very strong right now. SpaceMonkeys is. They're pretty much doing a lot of damage. The thing is, BZ is going to take a really long time to get boots of travel. I'm not even sure what gifted in this game is how bad his game has been going. Dan has been doing so much damage, been ganking so much, been doing so well with the Night Stalker on his team as well. Sand King's really not worked out for him. Uppers in the jungle, and he keeps going back to the same well, and they just... you look at the map control this early on, all the tier 1s except for the top lane are up, and they're just diving like crazy, and it doesn't even matter. Like, look how far they're willing to dive for kills here. Like, Dan's going to try to take on 3 heroes here with Night Stalker, and they might be even able to get a kill on NN. And BZ's also in a bit of a bad position. Hero's Ice Path will find NN, he'll go down. Meanwhile, one more side blade will do the job for Dan. He'll get another kill. He's on a killing spree right now. They should rotate to the mid lane and get the tower here. And meanwhile, Sand King's trying to farm for something. He's actually going to come back from Dan. He's actually going to look to go on Min here. I think he should be able to get at least a little bit of damage. Min will have to back off. He doesn't want to take too much of this. Mid lane is going to get fortified. Should not be able to defend this, though. They should go down regardless. I don't see how there's any way they can defend this. Sand King will actually rotate, and the Ice Path is going to fly in. She does a little bit of damage. Track will fly off on Min as well. Venom Scale going in as well, so they're going to push him back. So as soon as he TPs, he's going to get harassed like crazy from all of these heroes here by SpaceMonkeys, just sitting up, waiting, just saying, hey, there you are. Okay, you're going to go down now, or at least you get harassed a little bit. Counter wards happening from iDeal right now, and they need to do something, and that's probably a good way to start. Looking at the graphs right now, and oh yeah, it's already getting a little out of hand. 13 minutes, 5k, both inexperienced and gold, going in favor of SpaceMonkeys right now. 14-4. This could end pretty quickly if iDeal doesn't do something. I mean, the farm, like, Jakiro has a headdress already. He's going to get pretty close to his mech pretty quickly. Dan has enough for a Blink Dagger. I don't think he's going to go for it, though. He's going to probably buy something else at this point. He's got 3,400. He would have bought his Blink Dagger already. Meanwhile, NN is going to take a bunch of damage here. Edict will fly off, but the melt damage is too much. Epicenter are going to fly out, but the haste rune from Dan is going to prevent NN and Min from doing literally any damage. How unfortunate for him. He's going to get trapped up, too. He's going to Burrow Strike out. He should be able to survive just for now. Ice Path is going to miss. It's not even close. But the trap well positioned from Dan earlier on, and is actually going to follow up with another kill there. Double kill for Dan on a mega kill streak right now. We'll push this pre-play more than likely and take this tower. Definitely. I'm surprised they actually didn't take mid, but that's neither here nor there. Night Stalker with an Ogre Club looking to go for a BKB. Disconnect happening from the Leshrac right now, and he should be back in moments. But they're having a rough time, and they need to recompose themselves. You look at the net worth chart here, it's gonna get out of control pretty quickly at this point. They're trying to ancient farm here with Tifa and with BZ here using his march as well, but he actually didn't even get rearmed yet, and he's probably not going to until he can at least maybe think about getting Boots of Travel, which he's nowhere near, by the way. Upper has a Gem of True Sight right now. That's not going to save you. You really don't have any farm. You've got your phase boots on the side of your Lone Druid, but you have no bear up right now. And this is the problem with sending the Lone Druid in the jungle, and once again, I saw this earlier with the Collegiate Dota 2 League, where a team picked 4 carries, with one of them being the Lone Druid, and they sent the Lone Druid into the jungle, and it just didn't work for them, especially against such an aggressive team comp that SpaceMonkeys is running right now. You look at the lanes they had, and you look at how strong their ganking potential is. I mean, they've got 3 aggressively good gankers who aren't the greatest hard carries in the game, but they are still very strong, and iDeal has had a tough time since the get-go. And you're playing a turtle game, really relying on Tinker to get farmed. He's died 6 times already at 14 minutes into the game. Bounty Hunter will reconnect, Leshrac taking a bit of time, but we should get back in momentarily. I really hope you guys are enjoying the cast. Chat's a little quiet again, but understandable. It's 5 in the morning, and I'm sure half of you are at least in America, and you just can't sleep. It's gotta be. Like, who here in chat is from America? Like, show of hands. Anybody. Anybody at all. Any Americans whatsoever. Jailbot. We got one. And Spit, I know you're American. So we got 2. Scratches, 3, 4. There we go. They're coming out of the woodwork now. What are you guys doing awake? Where do you live, Jailbot? Do you live in like, yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That whole metropolitan area kind of got screwed. Oh, a West Coaster, okay. But yeah, no, I mean, I had family down in New York City, and they're actually doing pretty well. It's not nearly as bad as it is in New Jersey, and Staten Island, I heard, got rough. So this is your first taste of the internet in a while, then. Well, I hope you are doing well. If you are one of the few out there who are in the metropolitan area around New Jersey as well, and the East Coast, and you got hit by Sandy, I hope you're doing fine. I know a few Dota players that have had some rough times. Luckily, I'm in upstate New York, and we actually didn't get touched by the storm. So thank God for that. Ah, yes, Miami. It must be hot there. I'm jealous. I apologize once again for the delay, guys. I know you want to watch Dota, and I know you want to get, good casted Dota, but sometimes these things happen. I don't know if I want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about, the death total. That's not a positive thing to think about. Like, I understand your concern, but I don't know. Leshrac does reconnect to the game. We're going to get going here in just a second. Thanks for talking, chat. Feel free to be a little bit more animated. We could use a little bit of discussion in there. Every once and then would be nice. If you're too tired, I also understand. I have that feeling right now. But my body is getting pushed, and that's fine. You can push it to the limit, if you will. Good says Atifa right now. It looks like we will resume the game. Wait says the Night Stalker Sublime did not so just yet. This game is taking a long time. This game probably is at 30 minutes with all the delays that we've had. Toilet? Are you serious? Oh my god. Oh, you're in the middle of a Dota game. Wide. Alright, that's okay. It's alright. That is most certainly okay. You're allowed to use the bathroom. I think you should do it beforehand, though. Good says MYK, and now we're ready to go get back in the game. That's true, everyone does have to do number 2. Bow Bow. In the middle lane right now.
Radiant's bottom tower
has been pushed, as I was talking about right before the pause happened. Also lost my train of thought. I completely forgot what's happening in this game right now. I was too busy worrying about where everyone's from. That's alright though. We realized that the Spirit Bear does not have anything on him. He's actually got a Quelling Blade and a Stout Shield, so he devoted a lot of money to that Quelling Blade early on, and it's really not paying off for him. Understandably so. We don't think it was the best decision in the first place, but then again, who am I to argue with these teams? Tifa plus an End here in the mid lane right now. Min here coming in from the high ground right now. We actually do see the Night Stalker waiting, biding his time. MYK heading up to the top rune spot, it looks like, or looking for something, anyway. I think, honestly, SpaceMonkeys could benefit from a little more aggression, and they're doing that right now with Dan actually, with his Desolator, taking on Solo Roshan on his own right now. They'll be able to get this in time, bottling up just for a second, will do some meld damage, we'll take this Aegis, and then they'll be aggressive non-stop, I'd have to say. Should drop that GG branch attack. We'll pick up the Aegis, and then we'll head to maybe pick up a rune here. Of course, it'll be Illusion, he'll pop it off, and then get a little bit more regen going, and but you don't know if you want to go in this way. You're going to face 2 heroes, and yes, you're pretty great, and you're very tanky, but wow, that bear just is taking a ton of damage. Oh man, the side trap goes on to 3, including the bear. Dan will take the bear down without a problem here. Min will be invisible for right now. He's going to walk right into that Storm. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter's actually going to get a kill on the Nation Prophet, which was in the top lane. So they're just getting picked apart right now. Mid tower will fall. 17-4 is the score for SpaceMonkeys against iDeal right now. And, yeah. Farm. Yeah, this is not looking good. Not looking really great on the side of iDeal. 9,000 net worth. I mean, they're getting eclipsed in pretty much all facets of this game right now. Dan can honestly solo this tower, and I think he'd be fine. Looking for an Entangle proc. The bear will take some damage, but Jakir's going to run in here. He's going to Ice Path. The bear will get taken down. This bear was on cooldown for another 80 seconds. Venom Scale onto upper. There's the trap as well. MYK looking to track him up, and he's going to actually go in there, but here comes Min right now with a nice little throw strike. before Venomiter goes down, though, he gets his Poison Over ult, which is nice. Bounty Hunter going to get the kill for the Sand King. Meanwhile, trying to dive is this Dan. He's actually going to get the kill on Upper with a nice little dive there. He's going to meld right up and it's a lot of damage. There's a double kill. Dan is wicked sick now. He was going to try to come in here and get a kill, and it's honestly, it's over at this point. It is over. Epic comeback time. Not this game, my friend, I don't think. I really do not think that this is the game for it. I mean, yeah, there's a team wipe happening literally all over the map. When that's happening, I think you know, like, all right, I think it's a little over here. But Sand King actually does get a kill on the Night Stalker, who decided to dive literally 30 feet into the opposing team, base. So not the best move there. Dan is actually going to heal up before he will continue to press on. He's got 3.5k gold in the bank right now. I just pray that they can end this a little bit quicker. And I hate to sound biased or, really negative here, but honestly, I don't think there's much that iDeal can do to really turn this game around. There's really nothing they're not getting farmed, they're getting killed at every facet of the game. They don't have the heroes to really come back, even with a Tinker using his march just to sort of prolong any advances. Even when he gets his BOTs, it's just not going to be enough. They can, honestly, if they group up as 5 right now, and I'm talking about the side of SpaceMonkeys, they can get, a team up here. But DDX is actually going to take a split Earth and eat it to the face. He'll go down. In the meantime, Bounty Hunter's going to, one-shot Lone Druid, essentially. So they'll trade 1-for-1 when, honestly, that should have just been a kill on the Lone, or on Shakira right there. But that's fine. Bow in a precarious position will back off. He actually has a cloak to survive a little bit more of the magical damage that's coming out through this game. Dan will purchase a Boots of Travel up right now, so cheeky play from him. And he's going to be all over the place, honestly. He's actually pushing top now with MYK, and they're going to push this tier 2 tower probably. And MYK is actually going to back out. He's actually got a Demon Edge on him right now, and we'll see what he decides to build into that. There's multiple items he can build, MKB one of them, of course Daedalus as well. We'll see if those are the options that he does decide to go for. Dan will continue to push just a little bit. He's going to back off now, though. He's going to place a trap down on the high ground right here. Meanwhile, Dan actually could probably take these guys in a 2v1 fight, honestly. Unless they get an Epicenter off, which they don't have available, so there goes that idea. He'll buy something. It's actually a Yasha, and maybe he'll actually try to go for this now. And it looks like he's actually going to try for a dive. Maybe not. He's thinking about it. Marching Machines is going to be a nuisance here. We'll push this group wave back. He'll get a few of the lessons here as well. Crack Gold is placed up on 2 of the heroes here. They're going to try to defend this tier 2. Doing a good job of it, but the rotation is just going to come up here to the tier 2 in the top lane, and Dan's going to be here, going to try to push this a little bit more, and here comes the Night Stalker as well as the Jakira, and they're going to take this tower. There's a fortification available, but they're not going to be able to defend this even with the fortification, I don't think, despite the fact that not the rest of SpaceMonkeys is here. So this tower should go down. Here comes Min right now with the blink, and he doesn't have anything to follow up with it. He's just going to die immediately. Templar Assassin is godlike, and then will go down as well. There's Beyond the Godlike Street for Dan right now. Trap's going to be popped. B is going to take a lot of damage. Meld damage is doing too much. Venomites are actually going to get the kill. Dan with an H is still running through the towers. Roaster going to come in. Refraction saving his life just barely, but the Sandstorm will pop off the Refraction just for a second. Meanwhile, Ice Path coming in onto Min, and Dan's going to get another... No, he actually doesn't get killed. The Hero got it this time around. BKB is going to be popped. There's the silence on a Tifa. He's going to try to get away, but he's been slow with the side trap. Nice Ice Path onto 2. Upper's in a bit of trouble. This looks like it's going to be a team wipe, and at this point, they should just call GG. It's just call it. Macropyre is going to be popped out for whatever reason. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Push the tower, get the racks, finish the game, etc., etc. They're going to do so. They don't have a mech. Actually, they do. Is actually pop by Chikura 5 seconds ago. Fortification will fly out. Not really sure if that's going to save them. Heat-seeking missiles doing a lot of damage to MYK. They're actually going to they might back up here. They're trying to take this tower. They're just really trying to go at it now. And Dan is actually in a bad position. Is Aegis still available though? Mech is going to be popped. MYK will TP out and back home right now. I'd be very surprised to see. I would not be surprised to see all of them buy Boots of Travel. That's something that I was going to say. So Dan actually TPs into the bottom lane right now. We'll push this up a little bit. So they don't get the tier 3, they don't get the racks, but they got the tier 2 in the lane and got a nice little team wipe as well. And I'm just waiting for another fight to happen, and whatever lane, it doesn't matter. Roshan's up in another 3 or 4 minutes. So this game not as good as the last, I have to say. Unfortunately, you know, you get your good games with your bad games. Those things tend to happen. But hopefully in the next game we get a nice, really consistent, even game. One can hope. Not to say that iDeal played badly, but I think just SpaceMonkeys outplayed them. They were aggressive when iDeal had a very, you know, turtling lineup, and it just didn't work for them. Point Booster is up on the Night Stalker right now. He has BKB. I'm sorry I haven't really been checking the items. It's really... I've been slacking just a little bit. I apologize for that. I will admit that I am slacking. There's the Hood of Defiance on the Venomancer, so he's going to be a little bit more tanky with against those magical spells. Going through it, of course, not much on him. Min as well has a Blink Dagger plus Arcane Boost. He's had those for a while. And then not too much either. Here comes the BKB Night Stalker looking for somebody, anybody. He's going to do a ton of damage. There goes the Electric. He's going to go down immediately. Dan's going to fly down as well. He's going to go down to the Templar Assassin. Upper getting Ice Path right now. Dual Breath will deal some damage to him. Triple kill going for the side. Oh, double kill right now, but 3 heroes dead on the side. Up iDeal right now, and then there's a triple kill on the side of Dan right now. He's still beyond God Lake, has not died this entire game. 13-0-10. This is the definition of what usually is a pub stomp. They'll push into this tier 2, look for the tier 3, and they should be good. They'll have a mech up in just a moment. It looks like 15 seconds even. They'll push this wave. Tifa's trying to just farm in the jungle apparently, so he's looking to get some sort of a bleed into him, or that it's not going to matter regardless. This tier 3 will go down. There's no fortification this time around. They should be able to take the Raxus as well. They're even going to split push right now with SpaceMonkeys. Dan going to be working on the melee Rex there, and the melee Rex in the mid lane is actually going to go down as well. It looks like there's nothing to really stop this. Dan does so much damage with the amount of farm that he's got. He actually has a Manta style as well. Epicenter coming in, actually going to get a double kill. Wow, that was a really good Epicenter. I'm sorry that I missed that. Poison Nova coming in as well right before he's about to go down, it looks like. And then is slowed, so is Min. And we're actually going to see rotation from Danny. He actually might be able to get a double kill here if he works really hard for it. And Min's going to go down actually because MYK bought back. And Leshrac will go down to the Venomancer as well. So they get the triple kill, but they lose 2 heroes of their own because of the buyback from MYK. And of course Dan really farmed with the Manta style. With the Chrysalis now, by the way, too. So 2 sets of racks gone. I don't know why I'm still watching this game. But that's okay. Any Dota game to cast is a good Dota game to cast, no matter how poorly it is one-sided. Next game, I'll find out in just a second. I'm not 100% sure. I'll let you know. I think it might be D Sports versus somebody. Night Stalker finishing up his Aghanim Scepter. Give him a little bit more vision. He's actually smoked. I don't know why, but he's smoked. MYK with that MKB. Almost say BKB. Rotation coming down now. They're looking to head to the bottom lane. And iDeal. They're going to try to defend this last set of racks they've got. And meanwhile, Tifa's actually going to try to get out of here, but the damage is just too high for Dan. So he finds actually Tifa out in the top jungle, surprisingly. I don't know how that happened, but he did. And now Dan will actually head down and maybe look to push into the tier 4s. While the rest of his team pushes into the tier 3 and into the racks. Is Epicenter available? I don't think so. Actually, he just got up. Okay, so he can channel that and pop it off if he does look to go. Heat-seeking missiles will fly, doing a little bit of damage. Pipe of Insight has been finished with Venomancer, by the way. And he's traveled. Dan will come in. There's the pipe. They're going to pop it. They're going to continue to go here right now. Upper is in a bad position. So is Min. He's going to Burrow Strike out just momentarily. There's going to be the Ice Path on it, too. Good Ice Path, by the way. BZ taking a ton of damage. He's going to fly down. And as well, going down to the right clicks of the Night Stalker. Min thinking about coming out of his well, but he looks at him and says, nope, not doing that. GG, well played is called, and we're going to get out of here real quick, and we should be up with our next game in moments. So hold on just a second, guys. I'll be right back.